and help the angels fight for your blessings, so that your prayers, your answers will descend here on earth. Oh God. Just to let you guys know a little something about me. You know, people, when they look at me, they say, oh, but she's attractive, she's beautiful, she carries herself a certain way.
You do.
Yes, but I pray come on. You got to know where the war is. The war versus in the heavens. And then the battlefield is the mind. The mind is in prison. You got to free your mind. As a child, my father did not accept me because of my color. And who knows that your father gives you your identity? So as a child, I did not know who I was. I knew who he was. He was in my life, but I did not know who I was because my identity was stolen. So I was in bondage. I thought I was the ugliest thing that walked the earth. Who could love me when my own father could not even accept me for my color? I can't change my complexion. But who knows that the kingdom suffers violence? But the violence taken by force. And so the Lord began to deal with me and said, and I was mean to my dad because of what he was doing. And so the Lord began to show me in a dream that I was the people who had me in prison, or I was keeping them in prison. I had to keep them in prison. I couldn't be free because I had to watch them suffer. I needed you to know how well. So in order to be free, my mind had to be free, and God had to restore me. He had to renew me. He had to let me know who I am, and that's why it is important to know the Word of God. You've got to know the Word of God. He says that you are blessed, that you are yours, that you are His, and He loves you. He says that you are the head and not the tail. You are above and not beneath. That you are divine. That you are wonderful. He had to let me know how beautiful I was on the inside as well as the outside. Oh God. And so I'm sorry. It's all right. And so God had to become my father. I had to learn who He was and learn my identity in Him. And so He is the rock of my salvation. He is the rock of my salvation. And then to know the Word, you've got to lift up the Word, because the Word is the sword. The Word comes against everything that tries to destroy you. You've got to really get into the Word. You've got to meditate on it day and night. You've got to cast down every imagination, because the things that are here, the things are already here for us. God already has those things. They're predestined for us. But we got to line ourselves up to receive the blessings that God has for us. It's all for us. It is for us. It is with us. And then here is the soldier, you guys. The soldier. We got the belt of truth. We got to know the truth. We got to walk in the truth. We got to walk in the light of the truth. And the shield, the shield. We got to be able to be protected. And if we don't put on the whole armor of God, we leave ourselves open for attacks. We leave ourselves open for attacks. And the only thing about the whole armor of God, your back is not protected. You have nothing on your back. So you never turn your toward the enemy. If you turn your back toward the enemy, you can look for him to wound you. You can look for him to abuse you. You can look for him to steal your seed. You can look for him to ultimately kill you. So never turn your back on the enemy. And then when you're there, you got to be able to depend on people. You've got to know who's on your side. You've got to know who's on the left and the right. I've got to know that you got my back. I've got to know that you're not going to leave me when times get hard. I've got to know that you're going to push me into my destiny. I've got to know that you're going to see in me what I don't see in myself. I need your eyes to be open. Your eyes need to be open. And then what got me within Ephesians about the whole army was that in 18, in 6 and 18 it says, pray in the Spirit on all occasions. All occasions. Pray in the Spirit on all occasions. And then it says that we need to pray for each other. We forget, the army of Satan is about order. He is organized. Why are you mad at him for doing his